Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, B.
We should record that.
Abracadabra, B. Hey, we are live at 5. You know, it's just. Shay.
That's how we do.
Hey, man, had to come
See?
in hot, boy.
Normally, I don't get to see this because my big old noggin, so I wanted y'all to see it.
He
That's
said,
all. That's
he said Moreram 3D logo
all.
flying through the building. All right,
There we go. There we go.
man. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first
Yes.
episode of Moreram 3D Tech Talks. You know, it might change along the lines what we talk about, things we discuss, but at this very moment, we're just gonna talk about a few things that are interesting to a few of us nerds out there in the world. It's called Cinema
Yeah.
4D.
Yeah. 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 That's a good subject all the time, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But introduce
Let me ask you
yourself,
something,
Jay.
Cuzzo. Oh, well,
Introduce yourself, man.
I just let the
Let them
cat
know
out
who
the
you are.
bag.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
J Mo. And
yeah.
as you just heard me say, Cuzzo, we are cousins. Just had to
Oh,
put that out there.
yeah. Can't be letting them know, man. You gotta keep that down low.
Oh, my bad, my
Man.
bad.
All right, man. So, what was you gonna ask me? I heard you. You said, let me ask you something.
Yeah, yeah. So, man, I'm trying to think back. Like, do you remember the first C4D you used?
The first C4D I used, that would be R12, 12. Yeah,
Yeah,
seems about right.
yeah. I don't,
That's the first one I remember installing. Was R12.
yeah, I don't think I remember R11. So, yeah, I remember. I think everybody started off with Maya, especially if they went to school.
Oh yeah,
Um, and then what was it? 3D Studio, and then
3D
3ds
Studio,
Max.
3D Studio Max, all of them good things, and then you mix ZBrush in there, and
Ooh.
you are you are in the
Yeah,
world of
yeah. But
3D.
yeah, I think R12 was the one I remember starting off with because I don't remember R11. But back then, um C4D was a little more complicated than it is, but it was a lot friendlier.
Hmm.
What do you think about that as far as C4D and the workflow, even back then?
I mean, C4D was made for the ease of use. Um, it seems like everything was meant to be a macro inside of C4D. So when you're pressing a button, with what one button you think you're pressing is doing two and three and five other things behind the scenes that will make your life a lot easier. You don't notice that until you get into some of these other programs and you're like, hey, let me go make a, and you go to do
I
it
know,
and
right?
they're like, oh, nerves in Maya.
Oh,
Oh my God, like,
yeah.
so it just makes everything a lot easier.
Do you remember that one update out of all the C4Ds, not current, we're gonna get to current, but back then when it was the R12, 13, 16, 20-ish, what was that one update that just excited you? Oh, they got this. I think I can think of two, but I want to hear some of the ones or one of the ones that you have in mind.
I mean, what was I in love with back in the
Yeah, that one
updates?
update you got back then that made you so excited.
I think dynamics, the dynamic system being updated, that kind of excited me. Um, you know me, I'm modeling and lighting, so some of the modeling
Arnold.
tools that they came out with, the placement tool,
Mhm.
some of the, the axes tools, the modeling tools in my book. That's what excites me. And if they want to excite me again, they could give me some more modeling tools. Shout out HB Modeling Bundle, my guy. He some of the best tools out there. I'm telling you.
So I heard you say lighting and stuff like that. So when they added Arnold for the first time to C4D, that didn't excite you?
Oh man, Did it excite me? You know me, I was trying to figure out how we could get the most realistic renders possible. So I was trying to do
Just a
anything
physical
possible
render,
to,
yeah.
man, adding 16,000 lights to try to fake global illumination. You know,
And only vets of C4D will remember this. Physical renderer. Dots,
oh,
black and white dots.
that irradiance cache, you can get
Yes.
that now inside of Redshift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can, but nobody uses it anymore. Pretty
Right.
much use brute force. So. But yeah,
Um,
man.
I think the few things that excite me, I'm talking pretty early, is when they added the camera tracker, 3D camera tracking. Because we used to use a little app called Bonjour with the little blue beetle.
Camera tracking. Yeah,
And
see,
then,
C4D has added so many things along the way. It's almost hard to remember what made you excited because
yeah.
now it's just like, oh, C4D. I could just go in there and do this. Go in there and do that. You know,
Mhm.
it's not. It's just C4D is the thing you go to use to do the stuff you need to do. Um,
In a
I
simple
mean,
way, in a fun way.
come on now. If they would up that particle count like Houdini, man, I think they have to in order to kind of compete. You know, I don't know if
Mm,
they want to compete, but because they have X particles, what they're doing with that, I don't know. Put it
mm,
inside.
mm.
Just put it inside C4D. Just throw that over there. put put it inside
Um,
of C4D for it.
right. Well, they're doing it with everything else. I mean, because I before Roynoid, that's my other exciting add-on when they came up with Roynoid, the old-fashioned cut tool, but doing it because everything was just so exaggerated. Nothing was organic until Roynoid came out.
Right.
Excuse me. Um,
Mm.
I still also remember the old content browser. I wish they would put a lot of those presets back with the current stuff because with the current C4D, they did an overhaul on the actual app completely so that it's updated and the node system and the motion capture files they added to the actual browser. Um, Redshift,
Right.
that thing's like magic. One button and you pretty much got a almost photoreal render, global rendering, PBR textures.
Good
It's
old
Redshift
Redshift.
is yeah, yeah. And
And
I
let
still
me let
remember
me
when
let
we were
me let me let me time
uh,
out for a second. Now, Redshift or Arnold?
ah, see, I was about to do that, but not the way you're gonna do that, because those are your babies, you're the renderer. So I was gonna say Arnold, it's all relatable. It's PBR based rendering. So pretty much everybody started with Arnold, and Redshift and Octane and all them technically piggybacked off of it. And it's very, very similar. A lot of stuff is named the same. You look it up the same way, but a lot few things are named differently and can do things slightly different. But we got to give all awards to Arnold originally because everybody's like Android versus iPhone. You got to give iPhone their glory because it wouldn't be Android without iPhone. You know what I'm saying? It does the same thing. They just do it better, quicker once they see what the competitors are doing. So I'm gonna give it to Arnold because that's where it started off. Because Arnold's been around for a while, and it was only for my iPhone, and then it converted over to the other apps. So I'm gonna give it to Arnold, and then of course number two is gonna be Redshift. Yeah,
Oh yeah, oh
and
yeah.
Vikings.
Redshift definitely holds a dear place in my heart. But for all you folks who don't know, man, is it hard to get your hands on Redshift unless you out here in these streets selling your kidneys and stuff. But
it's
C4D, I'm gonna need y'all to tone it down just a little bit for the small guys out there, cause I'm rooting for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting because
yes,
I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen,
That's what this channel's for,
Listen, we need
no
y'all to
one
understand.
really.
If you don't want Blender to come and blend your whole world up, you better stop playing around. Start give the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
some Rob. You ever heard of Robin Hood? You ever listen? Listen, live
Right.
your life like that. The people love you.
Yeah. So I think I had touched a little bit on the content browser, and they got the Pyro system now.
Yeah.
Um, in your eyes, what do you think that next thing is to make everybody wowed again with C4D that are C4D fans that use the app? Like I said, the Vroidnoid did for me and the camera tracking way back in the day. What do you think it is that they need? What's that thing, that next thing that's going to be like, oh, this is what we need?
The next thing, I mean, things that I would want to see versus the next thing would probably be different in some people's eyes, right?
All
Things
right,
that
wish list.
I
Let's change it to your wish list.
Right, all right. So we could do a wish list. All right, so wish list of mine, real time rendering inside the viewport while I'm manipulating the things that I'm working on. Okay, kind of like how Substance Painter is. You can't necessarily change the polygons and stuff in Substance Painter, but you can see what you're working on as you're changing it one to one, basically. If I could possibly be in the viewport and I'm moving around and the hey my GPU allows me to do that, I want to be able to move the sphere, look at it, it's rendering, and as soon as I stop it, it's clear. That would
Okay.
be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, hair tools. That would be a wonderful addition to Cinema 4D
Wow.
2025, whatever you want to call it right now.
Right.
Then dynamics would be water. That would be the number one thing that I'm. And I know they got the cloth in there, but man, it would marvelous designer just right on them, man. Like come on, bro. Can we get a real cloth? Like you see, marvelous designer doing it. Take some of those tools, take some of those ideas. That's what they're doing to you. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Blender.
Bring them
Yeah,
over here.
of course.
Let's that stitch and sew where you can pull it apart
Nice.
and it
Right.
and then you hit the dynamics and it's just on the body, or you got the animation and that. Bro, why can't we have something like that? Please tell me why we can't have something
Well, that last update to their cloth, supposedly it's more like that, but I know exactly because I use Marvel's Designer. So I know exactly what you're talking about to that aspect. But you can also say that too with the sculpting. See, 4D had they own ZBrush now. At one point they didn't,
like that.
but they had their sculpting, and they're like, well, you can still sculpt in there. So I guess it's the same thing with the cloth. It can do stuff like that, not to that degree because they just focus on cloth, where C4D is a whole package. But as of right now, with that update with their cloth, they're saying that it's as close as you're going to get at this point without a new, update and really focusing on that only. But yeah, it's a wish list. So yeah, yeah, that would definitely be a good addition. I I don't know. I don't know. I think my wish list is impossible. But you did talk upon one of the ones that I had, and that was a liquid simulator. Um, we got the Real Flow plugin that I used to use a lot, but went back to the standalone. But the only problem is getting it from standalone back into C4.
Right.
That's where the big headache is. So if we have something native like the Pyro system now, instead of using Turbulence or outsource directly in there with liquid, that would be awesome. But I'm sorry, I didn't ask if you were done with your list
Oh
before I jumped in there.
shoot, man! I could go on for days with Cinema
I know,
4D.
right?
Now you know. Come on, now. Like done with my list? I don't think so. I don't think I'll ever be done with my list of what
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
want inside of C4D to make my life
yeah.
even more spectacular.
But yeah, that hair one, that's a good one too. that could definitely use a new update and some spring cleaning to it. Um, but the one that I think I would wish they would have outside of the liquid, because I'm a big liquid simulator guy, is something with the Mixamo rig a little bit more included. I know it accepts Mixamo. I know they have their Mixamo rig, but like you put these points in Cinema 4D, they could be nulls, right? That's our version of a point. Put them where all the spots go. Hit enter, just like on Mixamo. It spins right in there, and the app itself is doing C4D calculations and adding C4D joints, not converting it from Mixamo, if that makes sense. But built in. And then Almighty Mixamo, listen, we're going outside of C4D a little bit. Do the same thing with a facial rig. Put your points on the face, hit the
What was that?
button.
What was that? Hold on. What was that app that we took over for like 6 months? Probably could go still see our stuff on there. Mug Life. Remember?
Yes, yes,
Man.
perfect idea. Perfect example. Mug Life. Yep, Mug Life was a smaller app on iOS from what I used it on. Not sure if it's for others. And you put the points around the lips, put the points where the nose was, and it does these what people call deep fake now. Um, it needs to work because it's to pull because it wasn't a full 3D, but it will put a 3D structure of a head in there, right where the slit of the mouth was. It automatically opened the 3D teeth so that the mouth could open. And yeah, something just like that, just like Bug Life. But this time with the Mixamo version, the spin of the head, just like the body. And then when you come out, it's doing all this. I
Now,
know that looks funny.
now, I've seen something real close, right, on the Texture XYZ site, but I believe that
Mhm.
it's captured data for some reason. Hold on, give me a second. Talk to the people real quick. Let me try to see if I can pull up
Yeah,
this
yeah. I
this.
guess I'll add one more wish list while you're looking that up. Uh, AI. They started implementing it with the rendering a little bit, but take it a little bit step further. Like I want a 3D cube that looks like a character, and I want it to be able to jump in the air and land on its feet. You
Right.
know, add some AI in there. All these other apps out there can take a photo and make stuff 3D now. Um, it will even mimic what they think was going to happen on the back, and it's pretty darn accurate. So another wish list, like I said, mine are far fetched, but stuff like that into C4D. And let's start adding AI. Because if you're not gonna beat Blender at what they do, it's called being free. Add stuff that they wouldn't have, so you could be a real competitor. Not saying that you're not a real competitor, because C4D, if it wasn't for C4D, you know, we wouldn't have half the projects done that we've done. These logos, C4D. So yeah, yeah, AI can be added in a little bit more advanced AI inside of C4D. But man,
All right.
excuse me. Oh, I
So
did
this
come back from COVID. If y'all hear coughing every now and then, I do apologize.
so this is what I was actually.
Yeah,
Let's see
what you
if
got?
I can get this to show up on here.
For those of you who thought I had a fake mic, it is real. See, it's not a PNG.
Let's go there. Send it to here.
As he's getting that ready so he can show us.
All right. So
Oh,
we see
nice.
that there.
Oh,
So let's
yeah.
take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
So this is all
And this is a new
captured.
facial rig?
This is all captured data, I believe, right? But imagine having this level of detail in a rig because your face is only going to move in certain directions, right? Yeah, unless you're an alien or something, So if you can get a pose morph style type of deal to where you can somehow, some way, you know, hold on. I think there we go. Turn it off. Back to where we're at. Yeah, but if you could somehow get the pose morphs into a library, and then use that somehow, mix them out style, how you said, to where the points would be on the face, and then you can just slide the sliders,
Right.
and they're,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it'd be
yes.
awesome. Be really good.
Yep. And just like what you just showed us, that's a good example of once it's done spinning, with the characters, they're doing that just to see all the joints before you actually get into it and start hitting your dials. That one could do phenomes, like just like what you just saw, like as soon as it comes in and it's done doing the simulation. But yeah, yeah, very good example, man. Thanks for sharing that to the world. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like y'all can tell we have a history with C4D, and I know he can vouch as well. You use C4D for the simplicity. I mean, and nowadays compared to back then, like I said, C4D was more or less simple compared to now. But they did an overhaul, and it's like they listened to the fans. They're like, okay, we need to change this, we need to change that, we need to change this. But they think about us, while they're making these changes, and it's always something that makes sense, and always something that's make it a little bit more friendly than it was before. And that's what I like about Cinema 4D, and that's why I chose them over the other apps. The other apps can get it all done, but it's just a little bit more complicated to me using those other apps.
Cool, cool. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying us here, rambling on about the things that we love, 3D. And if you guys don't know, we really love 3D. And if you asked us back in the day, you don't do 3D. Hey, what's the other
Like
end of that,
I
Jay?
do.
Like I do
Like I do
3D.
3D.
Hey.
Bravo, bravo,
Listen, but
bravo.
I don't know what we got for the people now. We're going on 22 minutes now, sir.
Um, just if you want more content like this, of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, and let us know. Let us know. You want more content? We'll add it. The more subscribers, we're trying to hit a goal to get at least 10 more subscribers, hopefully, by 1 month. That ain't asking much. You saw the video. If you got your eyes on it, you could just real quick hit that subscribe button for us. Um, that'll help us out a lot. And, the more content we put up there, it really does help us, fine tune and, get the show moving along for more episodes. If you have
Most
any
definitely.
topics you want us to talk about, let us know. Put in the comments.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Till the next time, it's B Ramsey,
Yeah,
Jay
more.
Moore. We out of here.